While many people understand the term sensory overload in the context of autism, you might not know that stroke survivors can deal with it too. Today, we're going to talk about how sensory overload affects survivors and how to manage it for a better quality of life. Let's get into it. Sensory overload and survivors. By their very nature, strokes cause damage to the brain. And some people may experience more motor or movement issues, while others experience more cognitive issues. But strokes can also impact the areas of our brain responsible for processing sensory information. And by sensory information, I mean how we sense our vision, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. The brain plays a crucial role in filtering and regulating the sensory information, and damage from a stroke can affect the brain's ability to effectively interpret and respond to this sensory stimuli. This can lead to an overload of sensory information reaching the brain, which can be really overwhelming and make it difficult to respond appropriately to the stimuli. This heightened sensitivity can result in exaggerated responses to sensory input from our environment. Common triggers. Sensory overload can be experienced in a variety of different ways, including any way in which we sense. And the most common triggers for stroke survivors include bright lights, loud noises, crowded spaces, strong odors, changes in temperatures or extreme temperatures, changes in humidity, visually busy environments, high-pitched or repetitive noises, and even certain textures can trigger sensory overload. Sensory overload can make it challenging to perform everyday activities like cooking, watching television, and it can make it especially difficult to socialize and travel. However, there are effective strategies that can help you manage and reduce sensory overload. Strategies to reduce sensory overload. To go along with what we just talked about, one of the first steps to reduce sensory overload is to identify your personal triggers. Recognize what specific things trigger sensory overload for you. Keep a journal, digital or handwritten, and note down the situations, environments, or sensory experiences that have caused you distress, and then see if you notice any patterns. Is it mostly visual stimuli, or do loud noises make you cringe? Do certain clothing textures make you want to jump out of your skin? Understanding what triggers your sensory overload can then help you to design a better environment or plan to help you regulate your sensory overload more effectively. Once you have recognized your triggers, designate a quiet, peaceful area in your home where you can retreat to when you're feeling overwhelmed. Decorate it with soothing colors, soft lighting, and calming elements like plants or even a sound machine if that sounds pleasant to you. A safe sensory space can make all the difference in the midst of a sensory overload episode. You also want to make a plan if you know that you are going to be in situations that you can't control, like a crowded ball game or a concert, traveling in an airport, or even just being in a crowded grocery store. Plan in advance to make the experience better. Could you wear over-the-ear noise-canceling headphones, or wear sunglasses inside to lessen the effect of any indoor fluorescent lighting, or perhaps reduce the need to make eye contact with others? If you're at a concert or a ball game, get a seat at the end of the aisle so you can quickly make an exit if needed. By taking a few minutes to plan ahead, you can make outings much more enjoyable. You also want to consider establishing a routine. Consistency can help to reduce sensory overload. Establish a daily routine that includes regular sensory breaks, rest periods, and structured activities, which can create a sense of predictability and stability. Building sensory breaks into your day could be as simple as going out to your car at lunch instead of sitting in the break room. You can have a peaceful and quiet atmosphere. You can use large reflectors to keep the bright sun out of your car. And you can also feel like you don't have to speak to everyone who might have walked into the break room over your lunch break. Modify lighting and sound. Adjust the lighting in your home to reduce harsh glare or use dimmers to control brightness. Use warm light bulbs instead of the blue light for a more relaxing environment. Consider using blackout or light blocking curtains or blinds to decrease bright light. Think about a sensory diet. If you are still in occupational therapy, your therapist can help to design a sensory diet. Just like a balanced food diet, a sensory diet includes activities that help you regulate your sensory system. Engage in activities that provide the sensory input that you find soothing, like deep pressure, massage, gentle stretching, sitting in peace and quiet, or listening to calming music. Declutter and organize. Yeah, I know. A clutter-free environment can help to reduce sensory overload. Remove unnecessary items from your home or workspace, organize your belongings, and create clear pathways in your home to minimize distractions. And then you can also practice mindfulness and relaxation techniques. Mindfulness exercises, deep breathing, meditation, and other relaxation techniques can help you become more aware of your sensory experiences and then manage them more effectively, especially when you're out and about or socializing. All right, everyone, that's it for today. Leave me a comment and let me know, is sensory overload something that you dealt with after your stroke? If so, how did you manage it? And as always, I'm going to be leaving a link down in the description if you'd like to sign up for the email list, which gets you free stroke recovery tips and a free copy of my ebook, The Stroke Recovery Pocket Guide. And of course, if you find value in what we do, please consider gifting us, either by giving us a super thanks by clicking in the YouTube bar below, by giving us a one-time donation via PayPal, or by becoming a Patreon member, where in exchange for a monthly donation, you get access to cool perks like social media shoutouts, behind-the-scenes footage, and even YouTube shoutouts, of which I have 2 today. Thank you so much, Heather G and Lee S, for continuing to contribute at the Empowerer level. We can't do what we do without you. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next time.